Graduates, you may be seated. Friends, family, honored guests, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and most of all, graduates. Good afternoon. And I have to say, you all are looking good. I'm Dan Tokaji. I'm the Dean of the University of Wisconsin Law School. It is my honor and privilege to welcome all of you to our hooding ceremony today. First, of course, welcome to our graduates and congratulations. We are all very proud of you and delighted to share this special moment in your lives with you. I have especially strong feelings towards your class in particular because we started at this great law school at the same time in the fall of 2020, those of you who are JD graduates. That was your first year as students and my first year as dean. And it seems especially appropriate that this ceremony takes place the day after the official end of the COVID public health emergency, huh? Yeah, please clap for that. Because let's be honest, 2020 was a really weird time. The pandemic had hit earlier that year. Most of our classes were online with only a handful of in-person classes. You all didn't have the same chance to interact with one another after class or with your professors that previous generations of students have had. I will be honest, you all had it really tough, but your commitment to justice and your fierce desire to fulfill your dreams was so strong. You mustered the courage not only to start law school at this time, but to get through it. And you made it. Yeah, let's hear it. Law, s- law school is difficult under the best of circumstances. It's supposed to be hard. But to get through it with all the challenges you face, to persevere in the face of that, it's nothing short of amazing. And it should tell every single one of you that there is nothing in your careers and in your lives that you can't accomplish. So, everyone here, please join me in saluting our graduates for everything they have done, everything they've gotten through to get here. Of course, none of us ever get through anything that's difficult alone. So I next want to welcome all of the friends. Is a special moment for you all as well. How critical your support, your patience, interest, and your love has been to our graduates. None of them would be here today without you. You have every reason to be proud, and you deserve our congratulations as well. And so, graduating class, our first order of business is to recognize all of the people gathered here today with you whose contributions were essential to your success. I'd like you to stand as you're able, to turn around, if you would, graduates. You don't have to listen to me after today, but right now you do. Turn around to your friends, family, and loved ones. Join me in giving them a big round of applause. I also want to welcome family, friends, and loved ones who are streaming the ceremony online. We're very excited that you are able to join us remotely. I'm going to ask everyone on the stage to look at that camera over there, right behind our graduates. Let's all wave to those who are watching from around the United States and around the world. Along with the stream, you can follow this year's graduation ceremony on social media. We have a hashtag, of course, hashtag UW Law Grad. And I believe that that hashtag will be displayed on the two large screens to each side. I encourage everyone here to use the hashtag throughout the ceremony if you're so inclined. You can also take a moment and take a selfie of yourself and the people next to you and post it with that hashtag. Again, that's hashtag UW Law Grad. It'll work at tomorrow's ceremony at Camp Randall as well for those who will be attending that. Um, I want to next welcome our honored guests on the stage this afternoon. They are our keynote speaker, Justice Louis Butler Jr. Our yes, please. Our faculty speaker, Professor Erin McBride, and our student speakers, Damon Terrell, Harriet Mauna, and Traeger Metke. Please join me in. Also joining on the stage are our colleagues, the University of Wisconsin Law School faculty and staff. As your teachers, mentors, and guides, we've been with you on this journey. We are very pleased and proud to share this day with you. When you transition from being our students to being our colleagues, and our friends, which it feels like many of you already are. Um, there may be some faculty and staff in the audience as well who aren't so keen on, getting into these outfits. They're delighted to be here too. At this time, I want to invite our faculty and staff to stand as you're able and be recognized by our graduates, please. Course, happy, festive, celebratory day. But it is also a little bit bittersweet for all of us because we're going to miss you. You've made your way here and built communities of connection and commitment. We have grown quite fond of you over the past 3 or 1 years, or however long it might have been. Please do stay in touch with us. I mean that most sincerely. There is nothing as a teacher over the years that has given me more joy than seeing the great things that our graduates go on to do in their careers, in their lives. So please let me know about those successes as well as the challenges that you face, because all will face those challenges. Stay in touch. We look forward to hearing from you. It is now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Justice Butler. He's he served on the Wisconsin Supreme Court from 2004 to 2008, becoming the first Black justice ever to serve in that capacity. Originally from Chicago, Justice Butler earned his BA from Lawrence University and subsequently his JD from our law school. He worked as a public defender from 1979 to 2002 in Milwaukee and was then elected to the Milwaukee Circuit Court. He received an honorary doctorate in humanities from Lawrence University in 2007, and later this summer will be honored with an alumni award from Lawrence as well. We are always, always grateful and delighted to welcome Justice Butler back to UW Law. He told me as we were lining up just before this ceremony that this will be his fourth time speaking at one of our graduation events. He has spent so much of his professional life as a public servant committed to justice here in Wisconsin and helping out our students and graduates as well. I can't think of any more fitting person to wish you well and to inspire you as you begin your legal careers. So, with no further ado, please join me in welcoming Justice Louis Butler.
Social media? Sheesh. I'm old enough to not know how to use it, nor do I have any interest in learning. Dean Tokaji, Professor McBride, graduate speakers Terrell, Metke, and Maona, distinguished faculty of the University of Wisconsin Law School, honored guests, family, and friends, my wife Irena, my daughter Jessica, my granddaughter Sophia, and most important of all, the graduating class of 2023. Good afternoon. What a pleasure and indeed honor for me to be here today and to congratulate the law school class of 2023 on the completion of your years of hard work. To be honest, when I first got the call, I was shocked that your class saw fit to ask me to speak at your hooding ceremony. I didn't really have any connections with the class other than guest lecturing and the Evans Moot Court competition. I hadn't taught at the law school since 2011. So I was surprised that any of you knew who I was, enough to remember me. As an aside, I learned that this earlier today, that there's at least a couple of you who had a connection. There's at least one fourth generation member of your class who is going to graduate today. Congratulations on being your fourth generation. That deserves some applause. Come on. Four times? And I understand another young graduate is a friend of my sister and later became a friend of mine. His child is graduating today and will be clerking at the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. And congratulations to you. Now, I was going to say that I'm quite sure that none of the professors who taught me when I was here are now active faculty members. What a deeply depressing thought. But I learned today that Howie Erlinger is still teaching, and I had a class from him. Still, what a deeply depressing thought. So while I recognize that it is indeed an honor to be asked to be by this graduating class to share some words and wisdom and encouragement as you go forward with your careers, perhaps later some of you can enlighten me on why you decided to ask me, of all people, to share thoughts with you at your graduation. I recognize that in addressing you today, I'm speaking to more than one audience. First and foremost, I have some thoughts for the class of 2023 that may help guide and inspire you as you start your new careers. I have some words for the faculty who have helped shape those careers. And finally, I have some thoughts for the families and friends who have been there with you and while you have struggled through the law school. The class of 2023 has been privileged to study at this outstanding institution. I'm a bit arrogant on this subject. I consider this institution to be one of the finest law schools in the country. This school has some exciting, young, energetic faculty members who are simply outstanding at what they do. I often think about the legal giants I learned from when I attended school here, and I'm grateful for the education I received. I received my highest grade in law school from the man that the Remington Center is named after. I took a class from one of the Watergate prosecutors. I avoided taking classes from the person who was about to become the longest serving Supreme Court justice in Wisconsin history. Some of my professors became lifelong friends, and this school has one of the finest clinical programs in the country. As an aside, what I found most gratifying was that my contracts professor, Stuart McCauley, taught contracts to 3 generations of my family. Myself, my daughter, and my then 3-year-old granddaughter, who is now completing her 2nd year at Lawrence University. Yes, she took the class, and no, don't ask any details. But what really makes this institution great are you, the students, who come here and give it your all so that you can be the best that you can be. Today is the culmination of 20 years of education. That's 20 years of achievements, hard works, friendships, struggles along the way. For each of the graduates, I am sure that you are experiencing feelings of pride, a sense of accomplishment, and a belief that a big part of life's journey is now complete. Each of you can walk with your head held high, knowing that you have successfully received what few in this world can even have access to, a first-rate legal education from one of the finest institutions this nation has to offer. Although the pains of the law school, the classes, the late-night studying, the last-minute papers, and the examinations may be too fresh now for you to have a balanced view of your experiences, I am sure that in the years to come, each of you will feel a growing sense of gratitude to the University of Wisconsin, the law school, and the faculty. You've received a wonderful education, a sound foundation to enable you to begin your careers. As I began to prepare this address, my mind drifted back to the years I attended UW 40 plus years ago. I remember my apprehension at being among the country's best and brightest, wondering if I had gotten into something over my head. I vividly remember the panic I felt as I took my first law school exam. I threw up. I'm not kidding. Civil Pro. I threw up. I recall regularly eating fast foods because I did not have the time to cook a normal meal. Like many of you, I needed a job to survive. That meant that I did not have much time for leisure activities. Yet some of my classmates and I would take a break at the same time every day so we could go into the student lounge and watch Star Trek. Other students found their release playing sheep's head at the other end of the lounge. I recall that in some of my classes, I used to sit in the back of the room next to then classmate, now emeritus professor, Ben Kempinen, in the days before smartphones, where we tried to read the newspaper without rattling the pages. I refused to take any classes from then tax law professor Shirley and was a tough grader. I refused Professor Jim Jones. He was too much like my father, and you can't take a class from your dad. Hear that, Jess? Eventually, though, I began to gradually develop the confidence that I needed. I belonged with the rest of my classmates. My focus started to shift from merely surviving in class to thoughts of my future. What area of the law would I end up in? Would I be good? Sound familiar? You see, you have not gone through this experience alone. We who have walked this path before you have shared your pain, your anxiety, and ultimately your anticipation that something new and wonderful was about to begin for each of you. I pondered what advice I could share with you as you begin your new careers as this nation's newest leaders. I will endeavor to offer a few suggestions that I believe will help you soar in the years to come. If I sound a bit preachy along the way, that's okay. My nickname at the National Judicial College is Preacher Man. First, remember why you came to law school in the first place. I suspect that for many of you, you came here to make this world a better place somehow. Whether you came here to right some wrong, fix some injustice, or offer some improvements that would make life better for others, your motivation was to make your community a bit better than it is now. Do not lose this desire. You will have many opportunities to improve the world you live in as long as you remember why you went to law school to begin with. Seize those opportunities and do well for those who can use your help. Please indulge me and allow me to share why I happen to choose law as a career. I think back to the days by gangs and violence, wondering what could be done to make our streets safe again. I remember some of my teachers attempting to dissuade me from setting lofty goals for myself and instead encouraging me to be realistic. After all, an 8-year-old African American could never hope one day to be president, or so I was told. As an aside, I think I'm going to tell you this story. This isn't in my prepared remarks, but I'm going to tell it anyway. All right. When I was 8, I wanted to be president. I had this plan. It was a great plan. I grew up in Chicago. We knew who all the bad guys were. I was going to become a federal prosecutor. I was going to lock up all the bad guys, make a name for myself, and I was going to beat Harold Washington to the punch and become Chicago's first black mayor. I was going to serve 2 terms, and I was going to segue into running for the United States and winning United States. Good-looking black senator from my plan. He stole it. I was also told I shouldn't waste my time applying to the University of Wisconsin because I wasn't smart enough to get in. As a child of the civil rights movement, that was a true story, by the way. As a child of the civil rights movement, I often wondered how people could become so cruel and unjust, hating, beating, and killing people simply because of the color of their skin was different. I felt the sting of prejudice firsthand and not just as a child. Though much has changed for the better, racism and bigotry persist today. The infamous words of Governor George Wallace, segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever still ring true in the hearts of way too many people. Our schools, our neighborhoods, and our friendships still reflect the racism that we are able to end. But so do the words of a then young president whose message of public service was one of public service and hope. For many of us, John Fitzgerald Kennedy's vision of Camelot would hopefully one day become a reality, and we could dare to dream. I was fortunate enough to have lived at a time when Dr. Martin Luther King had dared to share his dream with the world, a dream of equal opportunity, a dream that all of us could live together in peace and harmony, free from the bigotry that divided us as a society. That was the world I wanted to be a part of. That was what I wanted to help shape. In the legal profession, I saw the opportunity to reach out and do what was right for all of the right reasons. The legal profession would provide me with the skills and the tools to make the world a better place. This law school helped to provide me with a moral compass to use my career for the public good, to seek justice for all, and to go out into the world and try to make a difference. Those were the reasons I went to law school. I wanted to make a difference so that I could leave the world a bit better than I found it. It was my passion to bring about a positive change, and I will continue to try in every way possible to achieve that change as long as I'm around. I urge each of you to reflect back on why you chose the legal profession as a career and why you wanted to attend this great institution. Oh, we all wish for you great success. There's nothing wrong with making a lot of money. And while you can and should take care of your families and loved ones, you should also never forget why you wanted to do this in the first place. I urge each of you to make a difference in the world as you embark on your careers. Second, protect the profession that you have chosen to join. What do I mean by this? Let me talk about two related concepts that will hopefully guide your practice: ethics and civility. We have all seen way too many practitioners who will say or do anything to win a case, including telling lies to a court or to opposing counsel. That is not the way to practice law. One thing I can assure you, judges talk all the time to each other. Once an attorney is caught making any type of misrepresentation to a court, regardless of the topic, the word gets out, and that attorney will never, ever be trusted again. It doesn't matter if the misrepresentation is made in a brief, in chambers, in open court, to opposing counsel, on television, the newspaper, or in general conversation. Your clients, opposing counsel, judges, and the general public need to be confident that when you say something, it can be believed. While there's nothing inappropriate with advancing any arguable point that might advance or develop the law, never misstate it. Judges and other attorneys have long memories. I remember to this day every attorney that has ever made misrepresentations to me and have never trusted them again. You will never reputation. Other part of the equation. You don't have to be mean, inconsiderate, or nasty to opposing counsel, witnesses, or the other party to prevail in court. Indeed, while some clients might want you to, the reality is you can lose juries or other judges by behaving in this manner. It gives the profession a bad name, and it really doesn't advance your client's cause. Some attorneys have advanced their practice by yelling to everyone around them so that their client might think that they're fighters. But the reality is that while in the short term it might work for some clients, it destroys your role in representing them. Keep in mind that the practice of law is society's way of managing dispute resolution. Without it, people will settle disputes in the streets, often with violence and bloodshed. If your clients see you behaving in this manner, there's really no reason to use the justice system. Next, if you love the work that you do, you will do well for those you endeavor. In law school, I happened to love the study. I was therefore fortunate to find a profession that allowed me to practice criminal law. For me, going to court to represent some client was not work, it was not a job, it was an adventure. It was something I looked forward to. the thrill of victory, and the agony of someone else's defeat. That is what I long for. And along the way, I had the opportunity to help people straighten out their lives. Whatever your passion is, criminal law, corporate practice, insurance law, intellectual property, international law, academia, or any of the other exciting fields that exist, embrace it and you will enjoy it. I can honestly say that I have never regretted making the career choice that I made. And 40 years from now, I hope that each of you will be able to say the same thing. Finally, look around you. I mean this specifically to the class of 2023. Look around you. Stay in touch with your classmates, those with whom you have shared your trials and tribulations of the last 3 years. I regret not having done such a good job of that when I graduated. Your friends and classmates will go on to do many fine things in their careers. I think back to the people I went to law school with. Many of them have gone on to become partners at some of the nation's best law firms. Quite a few of them have become judges. Dan Bernstein, one of the first Hasty Fellows, became dean of this great law school. One of my classmates, Kathleen Falk, is a former Dane County executive. Another classmate, Diane Deal, is a former state bar president. Mark Bradley chaired the University of Wisconsin Systems Board of Regents. Ben Kempinen, Gretchen Viney, and Mary Process were professors at this institution, have now gone to, I believe, all to emeritus status. Tom Zander, the former head of the Legal Aid Society in Milwaukee, was personally responsible for getting me a job in the Public Defender's Office in 1979. And one, Justice Ann Walsh Bradley, is a former colleague of mine on the Wisconsin. From now, each of you will be able to reflect on your accomplishments. And who knows, one of you may become a United States Senator, a governor, a United States Supreme Court Justice, or dare say, President of the United States. Don't do like I did when I graduated. Don't walk away and lose touch with the people who struggle with you. Maintain your relationships with your classmates and rise together as a group. The last piece of advice I have to offer is to remember just who you are representing. People are placing their property, their money, and their lives in your hand, and they have every right to expect the very best from you. They need your help in resolving the disputes that they have been unable to solve. They lack the ability to maneuver within the legal system. They are scared, and they have nowhere else to turn. You must treat their situations as if they were your own. Give each of your clients the very best representation you very possibly can. It will not only make you a better lawyer, but you will also feel like a better person for having done so. I urge each of you not to lose sight of the fact that as thrilled as you may be as a proud graduate of this fine institution, who are here with you today, your parents, spouses, significant others, family, and friends may be even prouder of your achievements than you are. This is where I would like to address each of the parents, family members, and loved ones who are here. For each parent, there is a defining moment that each of you can point to that signifies their recognition that you are no longer their baby, you are an adult. For my mother, it was the day she had the opportunity to watch me argue before the United States Supreme Court. She never looked at me the same. For my wife and me, that moment came in 2009, when our oldest daughter, Jessica, marched across this stage with her then 6-year-old daughter, both in cap and gown, and I placed the hood over my daughter's shoulders. I strongly suspect that for many of your parents, today will be that defining moment. I know what they're feeling. They will look at you a bit differently now, with a new twinkle in their eye. And I can tell you that you will not understand what today means to them until years from now, when you see your own children reach their goals and become the kind of adults that you hope that they would be. Be happy for your loved ones, for today may truly mean more to them than it does to you. As each of you begin your new legal careers, take the time to make a difference. Use your careers to make the world just a little bit better than it was when you entered it. Be proud of what you have accomplished here today, but more importantly, make all of us proud of what you are going to do from this point on. Congratulations and good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Justice Butler, for sharing your wisdom, your inspiration, and a little bit of preaching along with it. Justice Butler does have to go for another commencement graduation related event, so it's nothing I said or that any of you all did. Um, you may have noticed that our program in the back, it includes a long list of awards and recognitions that our graduates have received during their time in law school. Please do take a moment to look at it. I won't have a chance to mention them all individually in the interest of time, but I do encourage you to look at those awards during and after the ceremony and congratulate the many winners. At the University of Wisconsin Law School, we believe in and are committed to sustaining and strengthening democracy. A part of that commitment is that we have our graduating students elect their preferred speakers from among their ranks. And our first elected speaker from the JD graduating class is Damon Terrell. Yeah. So, to introduce Damon, he is a strong willed, eloquent, and passionate advocate for justice. Being an advocate is hard work. Some of you know this already. It means speaking up when it is uncomfortable, when it is not welcomed. It means taking a stand for things and sometimes for people who are unpopular. It means challenging those in positions of authority, whether they be elected officials or professors or even law school deans. Damon has all of those qualities and the courage and commitment to be a great advocate. So please join me in welcoming to the lectern Damon Terrell.
Thank you. I brought this up here so you all would think I had really like a notes and a speech. It's a great chick you might want to try out. I do want to say I'm extremely humbled. This means a lot to me that you all chose me to help make this moment for you. So I'm going to do my best. I would belabor the point, but they gave me 5 minutes. And y'all know that's a challenge for me. But in 5 minutes, I'd like to take a deep breath and let's make a moment together that we can remember, shall we? I want to start with a moment of grief. Our culture doesn't make room for that, but so much of what we did in the last 3 years requires that acknowledgement. We lost a lot to get here. Some of us got lost to get here. And I want to say that there are folks that aren't in the room because of distance, disease, death. There are folks that aren't in the room because they made the choice long ago not to celebrate who you are. I have some of each. And I want to take a second to recognize that all of that's in this room with us today. All of that's okay and honored, and your tears will taste the same either way. Now, moving on from that, I want to give thanks. When I realized I was called to speak today, I thought, what can I do? I can give thanks, a different side perhaps. I want to start where it begins for me. My Nana's out here somewhere. Yeah, that's a whoop for me too. My Nana left the South under Plessy. And I stand here today very brown. She grounded me in history. And for today, you can blame her because she also gave me the microphone the first time. She had the strength to tell me who I could be, to tell me who I am and should be. It's not always easy to have a brilliant young Black man in your care, to not know what to tell him about how much to succeed in this world that is Dane County. So she said, never stop. So I want to give a second of thanks, because I've only got the 5 minutes, for those with the strength to meddle and the care to do so with skill. To the nanas here today, whatever your stripes, let's give thanks. Now, please understand this is more of a sui generis than like expressio unis. You can ask about that later. I'm just giving some examples, some archetypes from my life that gave me the strength to be here. So I'm going to take it one step further. To my mother, a step shy of Mother's Day, I want to say thank you because she inspired this moment as well. I remember watching her come home from one job. I remember watching her get ready to go out to her second job, her passion, her job of teaching the world to dance, one child at a time, right? Well, ideally in classes, but you get the point. She called her shot when it wasn't easy. She was vulnerable enough to tell me what she wanted in life, and that was a degree. That was a bachelor's degree. She deserved it, and she got it. She went out and worked for it. Setback after setback, chin high. Didn't tell me, I'm doing this for you. Didn't say this is how you should be. She showed me how to be who I am. Her example inspired me to pursue my own and to be honest with the people I love that I would need to rely on for support as I went to achieve it. I want to be clear, this wasn't about extrinsic validation. This is about knowing your own worth. This is about knowing your own self. This is about what that does for others when you walk your truth. So, to the mothers and the others who inspire us today to walk in the way that we should walk, to be who we should be with grace and smiles and laughter in the face of so much that is wrong on this earth still, let's give thanks. And this is the hard one for me, believe it or not. See, I got a gift one day. I was about 6 years old. And starting with my mom, see, she wasn't supposed to have me. My brother was a hard birth. It's hard to get that much dude into the world. I was not a lot easier. The head has gotten bigger, but was always large. But she reached back into the void and she sliced me off a piece. She put it in my hands and said, "This one's for you. This is your little sister." And I finally knew what family meant. Some of y'all have met Kennedy. Brilliant, powerful. And there is something about the way that a little sibling can look you in your eyes that makes you feel like you are somebody. You're not on your way to being somebody. You matter now, and your example is worthy. You are special to someone. I'm a big brother, y'all. I would do anything for her, and woe to those that would harm her. When she came to this university, it was at a critical time for me because, as we spoke about, advocacy is difficult. And the weight I bear is a lot. I have this thing about telling people the truth when they ask me questions, and y'all were there, they asked a lot of questions. But when I got weary, when I got tired, I remembered that if I forgot to speak, there was more for her to do. She's too important to me. She's too special to y'all. I have to do some of this. Thanks, because as a Black man in Dane County, I walk around and I do try to be as lovely as possible. But I'm the reason so many people have locks on their doors. I'm the reason why patrols are in the street. I am the boogeyman. And nothing makes me want to live up to expectations more than when I can see the fear creeping into somebody's eyes. That's what cuts me the deepest about my situation. And for me, the antidote is when Kennedy comes whistling down the stairs in a bad mood and just looks at me like I could be somebody special. So remember today that there are a lot of people with expectations of who you're supposed to be. Choose the ones that matter to you and fulfill those expectations. Those are the ones that are going to get you through. You flip the page, and then there's actually stuff written. So that was a lot about the folks that got me here, and I hope it's instructive. But now I want to address my peers, the graduating class of 2023. I see you. This is a rite of passage. And I'm going to belabor that because 5 minutes aside, they're not going to take me off the stage. And to be clear, it's been some time since we've gotten to do this right. We didn't fill the room because we wanted to show off the space. We didn't fill the room because somebody needed to hear us talk. We will have time for that. There's a role for observation and a rite of passage. These are the folks that are here to observe you from one side of this veil to the other. And as a result of that acknowledgement, you will carry powers new. You will be more powerful in 10 minutes than you were 10 minutes ago. That's exciting and terrifying. Y'all know I don't have a lot of faith in what's come before in the legal profession. We have to forge our own way. We have to make this make sense. You're not going to just make the world better because you kind of want to try. What we do is steeped in violence. What we do is steeped in force. There's no way we get out of this without harming anyone, even if you're trying really hard. But what we can do is be accountable. What we can do is be ethical. What we can do is be responsive. Please do keep in touch because these folks will know what it's like to wield that. And we don't get to put it down. I came here for very specific reasons, to protect very specific people. And I am so very close that I can't sleep because I don't trust that they'll let me have it. But we will have it. And then you all have found security, and you all I have found support, and you all I got a vote of confidence I fully did not expect. So I want to say to you all that you are equipped to do this work, not because of what they have made of you, but because of what you have made of you. Your worth goes beyond the JD. Your purpose goes beyond the letters and the mailing. It's very nice to be able to walk around the metal detector. It's very nice to be able to speak up in a moment where you're preparing life for the better. But that's our calling. And people will give you their voice. They will vest you with their agency, and then they can no longer speak. So your silence speaks volumes. You see, Dr. Martin Luther King gave us a dream, and then he told us it was time to break silence. We know how that one ended. Today, I want to impress upon you that as hard as it is, take up the call in front of your people, take your hood, take your place. Let's make our world. For you all, my peers today, I would like to give thanks. I appreciate y'all very much. And let's go do this.
Thank you so much, Damon, for reminding all of us of what really matters and for challenging all of us, including but not limited to our graduates, to do more and to do better. A central part of the law school's strategic plan is to ensure that we not only train you all to be great lawyers and advocates, but that we prepare you to be leaders, to be change agents in a world that continues to struggle with persistent injustice. Service to people and to communities in need is an integral part of our profession, the profession you now enter. And it is also an essential component of the mission of this law school. To reinforce the centrality of service to others, the law school has many different activities, student organizations, co-curricular activities, and others in which you all can and have, in fact, taken part. Activities that allow you to serve other people, including people in need, while also developing your skills and your leadership capacities. I would like to ask now every student who received a service award, who is involved in any student organization, co-curricular, or service activity at the law school, to now stand as you are able. Don't be bashful. I know there are a lot of you out there. Let's all please now recognize their hard work on behalf of others. You see what an active, engaged, enthusiastic group of members of our law school community, our university community, and the Wisconsin community, the class of 2023 has been. We appreciate all that you've done and all that you will do. Our next student speaker is Harriet Mauna. She represents the law school's graduate students, including our LLM graduates. Our graduate programs offer educational opportunities for students who already have a law degree, mostly from an institution outside of the United States. Harriet was born outside the United States in Lilongwe, Malawi, also known as the warm heart of Africa. She received her BA degree in education humanities, majoring in history with a minor in English literature and social studies from the University of Malawi, where she would also go on to earn her LLB degree. Before enrolling at UW Law, Harriet worked for the Malawi government in the Ministry of Justice's Legal Aid Department. She would later also practice in-house in the financial sector. She actually joined our law school first as an employee rather than a student. She worked in 2 of our clinical programs and then decided to enroll in our LLM program. She's still actually working for our law and entrepreneurship clinic, which she did while also attending law school. We are thrilled to watch as our colleague began her journey as a law student here at UW, and we are very excited to see what's in store for her. Please join me in welcoming Harriet to the lectern.
See, I did not think the podium was going to be like this, so. Good afternoon, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, and my fellow graduates. I am truly honored to stand before you here giving this speech on behalf of the LLMLI class of 2023. And congratulations to you all. After an intense academic toiling, I'd say we've achieved a milestone and survived the proverbial 2 seasons of Wisconsin construction and winter. I am yet to understand how long winter takes. I thought it was 3 months, but it seems to be longer. After surviving that, I think it reinforced in us that we have the mental fortitude to survive whatever is out there. We have all heard the proverb, it takes the village. And I would like to say UW Law has been that village for me, and I would hope for my fellow classmates, where staff and faculty, you dedicated your time helping us to fulfill our goals and dreams. And to the selfless students who also volunteer to tutor us, I say thank you very much. You gave us the space and encouragement to exhibit our individuality. There were struggles in there, but you were patient. And for that, I say thank you. Even in the frustrations that I'm sure you exhibited, we're still grateful. It sometimes felt like a cyclone coming from a different education background, the teaching methodologies being different, but the academic cyclone that we were subjected to, we are very grateful because it's resurrected in us what I would hope is intellectual curiosity. And that cyclone I can take any day other than the destructive type. Walt Disney once said, all our dreams come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Our dreams began the day we received our college acceptance letters, and the excitement started to build up in us. And for me, that excitement, I think I exhibited at the student fair where I wanted to sign up for all the organizations that were there. But, and I also had trouble trying to pick which courses to take because I wanted to learn everything that was there. But we all know that you can't have it all, and you need to learn to balance in life, which is what I did. So there were opportunities, I'd say, that we got. And like I said, we cannot do it all. There were lessons in there to prioritize in life and not do it all. And I hope that when we do all go out there, we should be able to pick and choose and not just grab everything, because again, we can be overwhelmed. Nobody wants distressed and stressed lawyers with anxiety and whatnot. You will not be able to serve our clients well. So yes, I only signed up for 3 organizations and took enough courses to meet my credit requirements. Again, life lessons, you can't have it all. As a foreign trained lawyer, this journey has been a humbling experience for me, and I would like to also thank my colleagues, where, yes, we were trained lawyers from where we come from, but after getting here, we needed to readjust and approach the learning experience, I would say, as an empty slate, so to speak, because that was the only way that this learning experience would be meaningful and effective. And that's how we approached it. I do recall one day, I think I don't know whether it was the first day of contracts class. I arrived to my contracts class equipped with knowledge from American TV legal drama, Boston legal suits, and the professor posed the question. Like I said, it was a contracts class. After having watched American TV drama, I was like, I can kick this one. Raised my hand. My answer was, take them to court. I was wrong. And that's when I learned that Americans are not just litigious people, because that's what I learned from the TV. You're more than that. And that day, I began the learning experience as to what being an American is. And it helped me in the learning process as well, because it was a readjustment and opening up to new ideas. So I think we shall not trust American TV anymore, going on from this. I'm not gonna say I was a bit disappointed, like I said, because I thought I knew what America was. But yeah, it is what it is. In my country, Malawi, and as the dean said, the home heart of Africa, we have a proverb that goes like "Alidele nkulinga utaenda naye." This is equivalent to "walk a mile in my shoes." And that day, I think I would like to believe I began to walk in the American shoes, so to speak. Because it opened my eyes again, like I said, to what America is, and also reinforced in me the belief that I needed to be open again to new ideas. I am proud to say, as I stand here today, that that has paid off, because otherwise this would have been a very painful experience. And I hope that as we go back to Africa, Asia, South America, Europe, where my other classmates are from, and I hope I haven't left anybody out, we go out there and approach life with openness and a willingness to learn. Yes, we've been educated, we have the knowledge, but we do not know it all. So having that mentality is going to take us far. In our pursuit of dreams, we learned to adapt and thrive in the face of challenges. And I would say these are the traits that will help us pursue our dreams out there and thrive as lawyers and not just survive. And today, as we take our final steps from this enriching experience, our hard work, stress and anxiety, long hours poring over casebooks, articles that required sometimes 3 cups of coffee to make sense, endless debates with professors, classmates, chasing deadlines after procrastinating longer than is expected, all that has paid off. John Irving, the author of The World According to Garp, wrote, "You only grow by coming to an end of something and by beginning something else." I hope that as we are exiting this chapter in our life and we are starting something new, we go out there not only with the knowledge of the law, but with a way of thinking that sets us apart. In that way, when we do go out there and utter the proverbial, "it depends," it should be with confidence that only comes from a world-class training. Congratulations, go live your dreams.
Thank you so much, Harriet, for sharing your experience, your memories, and the warmth of your heart with us. Our next JD speaker is Traeger Metke. Traeger, after this weekend, will be a double badger, a term we use to describe someone who has 2 degrees from UW-Madison. Traeger received his bachelor's in political science, environmental studies, and Chinese from UW. He is a person of many talents. Before coming here, Traeger held positions in the fields of lobbying, technology, and bartending. He was extremely active while a student here, participating in the Oxford Federal Project, one of our clinics, and our new Native Nations externship program, newly revived, I should say. He also served as an editor of the Wisconsin Law Review. And I know how very excited he was to speak before you today. He's very honored to have been selected by our graduates and even had a draft prepared before the final round of voting was done because he was just so chomping at the bit to speak to you all. Please join me in welcoming Traeger to the podium.
We got the music. That's amazing news. To echo Damon, I am humbled as well. Thank you, students, for putting me up here. I really appreciate it. I think Erin would take care of this, but we do need to, Professor McBride, sorry. We do need to recognize that in another moment of humility, we are on Ho-Chunk land. They call this land Dejope. This is a land-grant university. We need to recognize that we are on native soil, and I want to make sure we do that before we get to the rest of my speech. So I'm going to ask the important questions here. What is law school? Gotta love it. These mistaken fools who thought they knew the answer before I got up here. I know the real answer. This from a guy who, those in my contracts class, third time contracts has come up. Day one, to impress Catherine Henley, Professor Henley, I raise up our uniform commercial code and I say, hey, professor, are we going to need the universal commercial code for the rest of the semester? And she never respected me again after that. So I ask, what is law school? Some people think law school is an exciting academic endeavor, to learn to think like a lawyer. It's the phrase we hear, think like a lawyer. That's what lawyers say. That's what the ABA says. I certainly bought it. Or we 3Ls and others, we consider if law school could be a very ritualistic and intense hazing ritual, a way of bullying us into the bar. Again, I'll mention the ABA, looking at you. Or, like Judge Mitchell came and talked to our slightly unruly Con Law 2 class, look at this nation, could you blame us? He said, practice it here, because once you go out there, it's for real. The dean was right. I wrote this speech before the final rounds came out because I was on a run and it came to me. I figured out what law school is. And the real answer is hidden in the genius lyrics of Under Pressure. To quote David Bowie and Freddie Mercury, it's the terror of knowing what this world is about. Watching some good friends screaming, let me out. This country's commerce, society, and rights are built on and dictated by its laws. See, the Federalist Society mascot is a silhouette of the author of the Bill of Rights, sweet baby James Madison. That was a verbal citation to my law review people. I think that is exemplary of a country that venerates the people who write and tinker legally. We've bought a seat at a very important table with our JDs. Now that's exciting, but law school also peeled back the curtain and gave us the terror of knowing what this world is about. The Manichaean, dualistic, adversarial, I'm right, you're wrong world. We studied the pains of that. Justice in its current form leaves lots of people behind. And that's a terror. We like to take comfort in treating the law like a science. But to quote my friend John L. Lavanga, this is a vibes industry. You know, say what you want, slap a citation on there. If you're feeling spicy, make it extra long and throw in a quotation as well. That's why the legal version of academic peer review is a bunch of unpaid 2Ls in a basement room on a journal. Thank you to the hardworking Wisconsin Law Review senior managing editors. That's why following precedent has fallen out of vogue. Partisanship is on the judicial ascent, and why, during the COVID-19 pandemic, legal scholars, court followers, and students got to ask the question, which Supreme Court justice flushed a toilet audibly during oral argument in front of the highest court in the land? Again, another COVID-19 gift of Zoom. Now, I think it would be crass to guess, especially at an august ceremony like this. So instead, I will say, thank you, Justice Stephen Breyer, for your years of service. Your many written opinions swirled down into the pipes of our brains like a gallon and a half of water, sweeping away Justice Thomas' concurrences. Now that I'm done with toilet talk, I'd like to recognize a counter-argument. Detractors may say, why, this is too tongue-in-cheek for a law school hooding ceremony. They have a mustache. Have some respect. My response is that I do have respect for the hard work and integrity of my classmates, making it through a crazy period of on-again, off-again pandemic to make it here today. I have respect for their family members and loved ones who supported them in this academic marathon. But I also respect humor, and the state of humor in this industry is grim. Consider Justice Scalia, who preferred that we call him Old Nino himself, the scion of the right, contemplated a broccoli mandate. The scion of the right dreamt this up hilariously in response to the individual mandate of Obamacare. He said, so you define the market as food, everyone's in the market, therefore you can make everyone buy broccoli. And people in oral argument actually laughed. I think We have a lot of work to do in rectifying justice, but we also are starting from ground zero in humorous, intelligent discord. So I want to do my part. But back to the terror. Our good friends are screaming, "Let me out." Folks are suffering because of the combative nature of the law and its inability to provide justice for all. And with the current decisions coming out of the Supreme Court, let me out. It's tempting to quiet quit. It's tempting to trade in legal jargon phrases like res ipsa loquitur or a justum generis, or my father's favorite, the writ de idiota inquirendo, look it up, it's terrible, for some vacationing French, maybe un peu de vin, s'il vous plaît, a little wine, please, or plus de fromage, more cheese, or terroir. But I say to you, and I say to the terroir of knowing what this world is about, no. Moreover, in Italian, terroir is just territorio. French needs to calm down. No, we came to law school to do more, to be more. And I want you, Justice Butler invited us to do this, but I want you to think back to why you came to law school in the first place. I want you to think back and past that first level knee-jerk response if you were chasing prestige or money or just because or any familial pressure. And I want you to think deeper. We wanted to be more, and I am thrilled to say that you all sitting here did that. Congratulations, we accomplished something enormous here. And with that, we can't forget that change is possible. We don't need to inherit the ills of the old world. We're getting our JDs and we can do more. We are going to be lawyers. We can change this. So what are we called to do? Guess who knows the first step? That's right, friend of the court, Freddie, and defense counsel, David. We can skip playing the lyric, but it goes something like, can't we give ourselves one more chance? There it is. Why can't we give love that one more chance? What Barrister Bowie is urging us to do is to introduce a little humanity to a currently inhumane legal system. I know it seems like asking a lot, but during your legal practice, be yourselves and love yourselves. Give it a chance. Prosecutors, listen to Lanny Glinberg. Stand in awe of your power. Be humble. Treat people like humans. Public defense, get some rest. Can't help folks if you're burnt out. Write down your wins and eat a vegetable. It doesn't have to be broccoli. Big law, have a heart. I know we have to take care of number one first, but consider your positions. And if what you do for a client in the short term hurts society in the long term, reconsider. Zealous advocacy aside, at the very least, be good to yourselves and the people around you as you work. That counts. Oh, and for public interest and everybody else, helping others is helping yourself. Fulfill that self. You're on the right path. Keep it up. So how do we do it? Again, Bowie has an answer. We don't have to play the lyric again, but it goes, love dares you to care for the people on the edge of the night. But also, and love dares you to change our way of caring about ourselves. Don't work yourselves to death. Realize that we're embarking on something hard and worthwhile and super difficult. That's life. But external change only occurs from a strong internal foundation. Deny that I'm right, you're wrong mentality. You're more than your work. We can defy the burnout of this industry. And realize that there is no difference between who you are under pressure and who you are. Indeed, this is our last dance. This is ourselves under pressure. Be good to yourselves. Congratulations, thank you, and let's celebrate.
Thanks, Traeger. You know, when I first started in law teaching 20 years ago, I was just a little bit older than some of my students. Now I find I am older than some of the parents. So I want to thank you, Traeger, for choosing musical accompaniment that I and some of the parents and even grandparents out there might recognize. Every year, our graduating class chooses the faculty member that they want to be their hooding ceremony speaker. And this year, the graduating class, in its wisdom, has chosen Professor Erin McBride. Professor McBride directs the Government and Legislation Clinic, as well as our Native Nations Externship Program. She also teaches regulatory, state, and legislative procedure. Before joining us here, Professor McBride dedicated her legal career to the nonprofit arena with positions at ABC for Health and Wisconsin Judicare. She earned her JD degree from the University of Iowa and her BA previously in chemistry and architecture from Bryn Mawr. Professor McBride is a really wonderful teacher whose caring for all of our students, as you all know, shines through. She recently won our Clinical Teacher of the Year award, and I know that after you listen to her for a few minutes, you'll know why she is so beloved by our students. Professor McBride, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Dean Takachi, Justice Butler, Damon, Traeger, Harriet, Mom and Dad watching at home, my husband, Jeremy Foltz, my son, Kieran, high in the back. Thank you to our extraordinary faculty and staff, our guests, and thank you, the law school class of 2023. It is an honor to celebrate this milestone with you. Today marks a momentous occasion in your lives as you graduate from law school and embark on your respective journeys as legal professionals. I know this day wouldn't have been possible without extreme effort, sacrifice, passion, and intellect. It also wouldn't have been possible without the time, encouragement, and support of your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, partners, adorable children, and the mostly well-behaved cats, dogs, and occasional iguana we saw on Zoom. Today we gather overlooking the calm, powerful waters of Lake Monona in acknowledgement of those inspirational forces in your life. Over the past few years, I've had the high honor of teaching this class about the law, its intricacies, and its application in our modern world. Exactly 23 years ago to the day, I delivered the commencement address at my own undergraduate graduation from Bryn Mawr College. I spoke to my fellow graduates about the meaning of success, acknowledging accomplishments do not occur in isolation. We had all somehow just survived Y2K together. And we were graduating into a world of rapidly evolving new technologies, pushing us to be individualistic agents in a new modernist age. Pagers and robocalls to our landline phones were the ascendant evil technologies our mothers were warning us about. Now, 23 years later, I'm thinking again of these same challenges to our human condition and our ability to work to a more just, inclusive, advanced society. The alienation, repression, conformity of a modern society are ever present, waiting to trip us up, extinguish all progress. Replace Y2K with ChatGPT and Zoom. Substitute robocalls and pagers with AirTags and Twitter's blue checkmark. Exchange the sartorial conformity we wore of crop tops, fanny packs, checkerboard vans for sometimes you don't mess with perfection. Fortunately, you as newly minted lawyers don't have to pay for the miracles of advancement by sacrificing your individuality or anyone else's. The study of law, justice, and ethics had fostered in you a conscience for navigating this continually evolving world. You leave here with the courage to know yourself, to be yourself. But success isn't about keeping score. It isn't about any one outcome. It's about taking the time to do the work. Like the law school's atrium glass elevator, so too the elevator to success is frequently out of order. And you must use the stairs one step at a time, and we apologize for any inconvenience. It's about bringing together the different elements, the different input, the different people to form that more perfect world. Success doesn't happen in isolation. The water that surrounds us today can teach us how to bring together disparate elements to make something calm and peaceful, and yet so powerful. Because water itself is made up of two very different elements, oxygen and hydrogen. Oxygen is Earth's most abundant element and the third most abundant element in the universe. It is a member of the chalcogen group of the periodic table, meaning it's very highly reactive nonmetal element. Oxygen is a very small atom that desperately wants to gain 2 electrons. When it meets atoms that can share electrons, it provides a safe place for those electrons to go, generating new energy, and in exchange, making itself quite stable. Coming into law school, some of you were oxygen elements, feeling small, looking for connection and stability, fiercely passionate, highly reactive. Hydrogen, on the other hand, is the most abundant element in the universe. In fact, hydrogen accounts for 90% of the universe by weight. It has an exceptionally high energy content. It is extremely flammable. It doesn't take much to set hydrogen off. It only takes a small amount of energy to ignite it and make it burn. Hydrogen burns with a pale blue, almost invisible flame, making hydrogen fires incredibly difficult to see. Volatile, motivated, clever. Most of you came to law school as hydrogen. But over the past 3 years, something remarkable happened with you as reactive, flammable elements, yearning for more as you zoomed in, attended classes, joined student organizations, contributed to clinics, excelled at externships. You bonded. And when 2 hydrogen elements bond with 1 oxygen element, you get water. And something significant happens to the elemental properties of oxygen and hydrogen when they form water. Water is not flammable. It doesn't contain any chemical bonds that can be easily broken by heat or by spark. Water's covalent bonds make it strong and stable and unreactive to most outside influences. Simply put, the H elements and the O elements become much better versions of themselves. Water doesn't burn. Water puts out fires. Water isn't flammable because it has such strong bonds. In much the same way, when you form strong bonds with each other, you become much better versions of yourselves. You become more resilient, more capable, more effective at achieving your goals. As law graduates, you are entering a profession that is all about making connections. Whether you're working with clients, colleagues, or opposing counsel, your success will depend on your ability to form strong relationships and work collaboratively with others. Water doesn't burn. Successful lawyers build deep networks and cultivate strong alliances with others in the field. Building these connections isn't always easy. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to be vulnerable and open to others. It means stepping outside your comfort zone and reaching out to people who might be different from you. It means taking the time to listen and understand the perspectives of others, even if you don't always agree with them, especially if you don't agree with them. Strong bonds are why water doesn't burn. Law is a profession of choices. Lawyers choose how they will achieve fulfillment for themselves, how they will be of best service to others, and how they will shape and improve the profession. Those choices you make every day as legal professionals matter and will require tremendous care. Alienation, repression, conformity are the easy way out, representing the choices ready and waiting to extinguish your professional and personal lives. The chemical bonds in flammable compounds are very weak. They are all so easily broken, we call them exclusive bonds. Among people, exclusivity leads to division, conflict, the basis of an unjust society. When people form exclusive bonds based on differences in race, ethnicity, gender, religion, or other factors, they burn and obliterate the community. Inclusive bonds are why water doesn't burn. Just as water's inclusive bonds create a strong and stable molecule, inclusive bonds among people create a strong and stable community. When you come together and form inclusive bonds, you work together towards common goals. You overcome challenges that would be too hard, too risky, too pricey to tackle alone. These bonds can be formed through choosing empathy, understanding, and a willingness to learn and appreciate different perspectives and experiences. Burn your robes of conformity. Embrace diversity and differences among individuals. Strong bonds between individuals requires time, effort, and nerve to connect with individuals unlike yourself, plus a commitment to staying connected, even in difficult times. You've proven you have the power, the persistence, the patience, and the courage to do so. A statement credited to F. Scott Fitzgerald sums up my wish to you as graduates. For what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case, too early, to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. Stop whenever you want. You can change or stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best of it. We can make the worst of it. And I hope you make the best of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people with a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of. If you find that you're not, I hope you have the courage to start all over again. As you leave this institution and embark on your next voyage, take with you the lesson of two distinctive yet volatile elements coming together to create a new life force, a new peace. In the great tradition of Wisconsin, go forward and remember, water doesn't burn.
Well, thank you so much, Professor McBride, for sharing your effervescent good cheer, your sense of humor, and of course, your knowledge of chemistry with us all. I do want to call attention to the cardinal red stoles, or as we like to say, badger red stoles, that you see some of our graduates wearing today. Wiley, because I see you up in the front row, you want to stand up for a second and just show it off? All right, there we go. Very nice. Um, the, the, the graduates wearing these stoles are graduating with high academic honors, having consistently excelled in their studies here at UW Law. We also have a multiplicity of other academic recognitions, which you can also find in the back of your program, honoring students' performance in various areas. And we have Dean's List honors recognitions that students earn on a semester by semester basis for academic achievement. At this time, I want to recognize all of our students who've received academic honors and awards to stand as you're able. If you're wearing a cardinal stole, if you were recognized with an academic award, if you've ever been on Dean's List, please stand now so that we can all recognize you for your hard work and achievements. As you can see, a class full of super achievers. Thank you, graduates. Now we come to a very special time in our program, presenting our degree candidates with their hoods. This symbolic process publicly demonstrates the completion of your degrees. The colors on the hood are meaningful, representing both the graduate's field of study and the university from which you earned your degree. The purple represents law, and the red represents Wisconsin. If you look at the regalia of our faculty, you'll see that the hoods are of different colors, representing the various different universities that we all attended to earn our degrees. You may not have the chance to wear your academic regalia again anytime soon. I'm lucky I get to wear mine once a year. But if you do have occasion to wear it and it's properly chosen, and if anybody else really cares or is paying attention, they'll be able to tell where you graduated and with what degree. So wear that regalia proudly, everyone. Okay, Now, here's what's going to happen next. Our graduates are going to stand row by row as directed by ushers. You'll head for the stage. You will be presented with your degree by degree type in alpha order by last name. We're going to start with our JD students, our student speakers, and then our graduate LLM students. When you come to the stage, please hand your card to the staff. When your name is read, you'll step up to the faculty members on stage who will present your hood to you. They'll actually put it over your head to complete your regalia. 2 graduates will be hooded at a time. Then our wonderful staff will make sure your hood looks just perfect. As I need help every year with mine. After that, each graduate will join me in front of the UW Law School banner for a photo. If you're already hooded, just proceed to the area of the stage where I'm standing for your picture. So this is a celebratory, festive moment here, and I want you all to enjoy it in the way that suits you best. Feel free to cheer, those of you in the audience, to make noise, to take photos. We do have a professional photographer who will be right up here, and the images will be made available afterwards for purchase. But you're all welcome to take your own photos as well. We've got plenty of space right up here in the front. So please don't be shy. Come up here as you see your graduate approaching and get your photos. It's been a long time coming, and for friends and family as well as our graduates, this is the moment you want to savor and remember, not only in your memories but on your phones, I'm sure. Now, there isn't room right up here for everybody at once, and so we'll ask for a little bit of coordination. Please approach the area when your graduate's last name is going to be called, and after they're done, after you've snapped your photos, please return to your seats so others, loved ones, can snap their photos. That would be great. Please also try to keep the aisles clear as best you can so that our graduates may return to their seats. And now, ushers, are we ready? Okay, let's go. Let's do this thing.
It looks like they've stolen. So we'll go last.
Grant Adams. James B. Aird. Verity Altenberger. Lemuel Anderson. Samuel Anderson. Peterson Apfelbach. Christian Atterbury. Hannah Balder. Jonathan Beck. Christopher Berry. Hannah Beswick Hale. Arwen Blexley. Mac Blesson. Evan Bonduck. L. Borden. Mackenzie Brewer. Martha Catherine Broadnax. Megan Brewer. Brock Brulman. Gregory Bruno. Samuel Bruntz. Dylan Bertelick. Natalie Burmeister. Kiara Butler. Michael Byrne. Adam Michael Call. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Megan Call. Emma Campion. Clayton Kavanaugh. Emily Serbins. Young Ji Choi. Jody Chung. Madeline Clausen. Stephen Clemens. Sandra Van Bremen Cohen. William Francis Cole. Audrey Cook. Brennan Corbett. Catherine Cortuzzi. Kaylee Cowan. G.K. Suey. Kyle Cunningham. Russell Cunningham. Brendan Daly. Michaela Iman Davenport. Javon Tyler Davis II. Michael DeLong. Fernando Diaz. Charles Dodge. Vincent Dumas. Alexander Dime. Juliana Englander. Mary Margaret Evans. Mark Fernandez. Hannah Ferry. Samantha R. Foran. West Foster. Tally Foti. Melissa Franca. Jacqueline Frank. Ryan Frank. John Fuller. Stella Furlano. Hugh Gerg. Tierney Gill. That's how you do it. Jennifer A. Giese. Kelly Gorman. Rajpreet Grewal. Sean P. Griffin. Jeffrey Groot Jr. Kimberly Gutierrez. Samantha Grace Guzman. Claire Hagney. Sharif Holowish. Guy John Halcone. Christian Hansen. Stephen Hawkins. Tessa M. Henson. Kathleen Frances Hessel. Madeline Elizabeth Hills. Ava Hitchcock. Isaac Hiddle. Elizabeth Aruli. Ari Jacobson. Grant James. Are you ready? Charles Jaskowski. Danielle Johnson. Nikki Kane. Paige Kent. Megan Kerr. Nathaniel Keene. Zaria Kennebrew Nagama. Callahan Klein. Kimby Klein. Tyler Klug. Emma Nadaru Johnson. Laura Laidlaw. Claire Elizabeth Lamel. Gabrielle Marie Lattery. John Lavagna. Madison Lehman. Osvaldo Lee Iglesias. Miles Leon. Marco Lewis. Luan Lee. Jennifer Leanne. Jacob Lindenbaum. Yen Chen Liu. Jarrett Loyman. Olivia Long. Julia Lorenzen. Kevin McGee. Riley March. Matthew Martin. Niall T. Martin. McKenna Matthey. Alexander Matt. John B. McClellan IV. Sergio Mendez. Marie Mickley. Michael Miller. Amanda Monatolis Shadden, pardon me. Anna Mitchell. Abby Moe. Jeff Mollett. Daniel G. Moon. John J. Maroney. Katrina Blossom Morrison. Robert Mueller. Isabel Munch. Wilfredo Omar Navarro. Mike Neary. Jacob Neely. Laura Newberry. Morgan Newcomb. James Norris. Carly Page O'Donnell. Patrick Anthony O'Malley. Luke O'Neill. Annika Olson. Spencer Olson. Alex Orozco. Jessica Oswald. Greg Packnett. Renee Postiak. Catherine Pence. Connor Peterson. Sophia Rose Prander. Maria Pimentel Diaz. Catherine Plachta. Jackson Popelka. Dana Catherine Posto. Juan Carlos Carroll Jr. Peter Rocky. Cameron Ramker. Harrison Raymond. Jack Barnum Reed. Hannah Richardson. Noe Ricone. Samuel Rosen. Jackson Alexander Relic. Joey Rubin. Juliana Ruiz Marquez. Autumn Rouleau. David Wells Sandberg. Emma Sauve. Anna Sherrill. Aaron Schindler. Eric Schluter. Sam Schmidt. Jacob Schrader. Sarah Sirag. Zeke Shin. Patrick Sekula. Elisa Simons. Marin Smith. Michael Smith. Jacqueline Sulinger. Wyland Sone. Tammy Sulana. Morgan Spawn. Paige Sprink. Forrest Stewart. Karen Suarez Jimenez. Noah Sunderman. Son Suvanderler. Jason Ray Swaby. Dimitri Douglas Sweat. Kenny Thompson. Temple Thompson. Michael Tobin. Peter Thomas. Tomas. Madison Taylor C. Brian Tuksinski. Andrew Tyler. Cameron Ubel. Hazel Wong. Josh Weisar. Josie Wergen. Madison Westcott. Madeline Kyle Weston. David Westrate. Jasmine Taylor Wyack. Tori Worcester. Nathaniel Yako. Zachary Zarb. Callie Halen Zuttle.
Harriet Mauna. Maximilian Stein. Nizomedin Kozimov. Fakrulo Kimsanov. Yabing Chong. Venita Sunkarat. Aishariah Kasipong. Meena Balasubramanian. Marianella Smail Ortega. Eddie Villages Flores. Gunnar Gilfison. Abdul Rahman Al-Rumi. Traeger Metke. Damon Terrell.
All right, everybody get their diploma. One more big UW Law round of applause for all of our graduates. Yeah, come on. Let's hear it. That's it. We are so proud of you. We are so proud of you all, and we really cannot wait to hear and read about all of the wonderful things that you're going to do, all of the good that you're going to do for our profession and humanity in the years to come. We're going to miss you terribly, and we are honored that you chose to come to UW Law. We will always be honored to have you as a part of our community. Because once you come here, once you accept our offer of admission, like it or not, you are part of our community for the rest of your lives. And we look forward to seeing you back here as often as you're willing to come see us. My sincerest thanks to all of you, to the graduates, to their friends, family, loved ones, faculty, staff, everybody for being here. I would ask that the guests please remain seated until faculty and graduates have exited the hall. Ushers will assist the graduates to the recession by releasing you row by row at the appropriate time. After the ceremony concludes, guess what time it is? Time to party. I heard it correctly. Jody, I knew I could count on you. So we're going to meet on the roof, assuming that it's not like pouring down rain. Looks okay out there. It's a beautiful day. So we're going to go up to the roof. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. And congratulations, class of 2023. Woo!